When I was a kid, I'm sure you guys can relate. Broccoli or anything green, for that matter, was a bad thing. You hated it whenever your parents asked you to try it. You screamed, cried. If you're a teenager, you just said, I'm good, I'm good. Or you just never picked it up off the counter and put it on your plate. And then you become an adult. And you know vegetables are good for you. You know broccoli is good. Carrots help your eye. You know, all the good stuff that we know about veggies and, and that healthy stuff we project as as youth. And the first time you try it as an adult, all of a sudden, this broccoli is pretty good. And that's just raw broccoli. You dip it in some ranch. Oh man, this broccoli is really good. You have some broccoli with cheese. Oh, steamed broccoli, seasoned broccoli with some meat. Oh man, I can go on and on. But the point is, because you were never willing to try broccoli as a kid, you missed out on one, all the benefits of eating your vegetables, and two, just truly knowing if you like something. You could have tasted it as a kid and said, yeah, I really don't like it. That's cool. You know for sure. But just going off of not trying it because you're afraid of what you're going to taste, it held you back. You didn't grow. Your taste buds didn't grow. Obviously your diet was terrible because you're eating Dino Nugs, and not the gluten-free ones, because that was not a thing 20 years ago when we were kids. At least it wasn't a very popular thing. But I've kind of lived a lot of my life just kind of having fear and just being indecisive about almost everything. A more real and current example that this still happens to me constantly, even though I'm a grown man and understand this about myself. A couple weeks ago, I think I shared this example in my past video about, well, not this example specifically, but the situation of going to a birthday party. My wife told me have us, family friend's birthday party. Their kids are about the same age as my kids. I say, cool. It's like 3 weeks ago. Those 3 weeks go by, and all of a sudden, it's the day of. Before 3 weeks ago, that birthday party sounded real cool. It's so far. Yeah, of course we're gonna go to their party. We always go to their party. And the day of, I get the text from my wife saying, hey, make sure the kids are ready by 2:00. And obviously, because I'm me and I forgot what we're talking about. I go, what do you mean? It's Saturday. I don't want to go anywhere, right? And she kindly reminds me that it's the birthday party. And my immediate reaction is, fuck, I don't want to go to a birthday party. Why do I want to go to a 4-5-year-old or 4-year-old's birthday party? I'm not going to do anything there. I'm going to be bored. Two, I don't like any of the other parents. All this stuff just came up with excuses before I could even think about it. And it was because I was scared of what I was going to do there. I was scared of, being bored or missing out on, I could stay home and I could be productive. I could fold the clothes. The kids are out of that. I could do all this stuff. And I was too busy thinking about the what ifs. And obviously I ended up going, and it was good because, like I predicted, the parents there sucked. But my wife and I were able to laugh at all the other parents and have a mutual agreement that they do suck, and watch our kids do some cool shit, because this house has some cool shit for kids. But what I'm trying to say is, I've made split decisions like that my entire life. Whether it's going to an event, going to a restaurant, going to whatever the case may be. I've always been so hard-headed and fearful of, what if I do this, then this is going to happen. And the truth is, those fears honestly never really happen. It's just made up. And I really wish I could have told myself that as a teenager, especially, or even as a young adult, especially during, the dating scene and, meeting new people, because I really would have, I could have learned a lot by not being indecisive and not being fearful by doing those things. And two, it would have just been cool to do different things. And so my biggest tip is honestly what I try to do now, at least, is I always try to weigh the pros and cons of, what I'm being asked to do. Let's go to the birthday party. Pros: get to spend time with my family, get to have free food, the kids get tired out, get to spend time with my wife. Cons: I have to leave the house. You see, just doing that alone, it seems so obvious what what decision I should make, right? And the funny thing is, that's literally the case with almost every decision, big or small. Whether it's I gotta go to the store, or I gotta do this big project, or I gotta go to a birthday party. Weighing the pros and cons always tell you what you should do. And another thing is, if your heart or your gut is telling you should do something and you're actively fighting that decision, it's probably a good reason, or probably is not a good reason for you to go against that feeling. And I know I have that feeling a lot because I, like from Benchwarmers, the brother Huey has a fear leaving the house because he's afraid of the sun. That's literally how I feel. My wife says I'm a hermit, but I'm not. But I have hermit tendencies, I guess. Anyways, just weighing pros and cons and understanding what is right and what you should do. Obviously, everybody's lives are different. Everybody's different responsibilities. And obviously, like for the birthday party example, my husband / father responsibilities were calling, and I actively tried to go against it, which is dumb on my part. And just wanted to let you guys know that it's okay to be uncertain about making decisions, big or small. And you probably feel uncertain and fearful about these decisions because, obviously you may have been burned as a kid or just in the past with, rushing to make a decision or making a decision that you don't want to. And at the end of the day, if you really don't want to do something, just don't do it. But always remember there are pros and cons to everything, and it is important to think about what decision you're going to make. Gone are the days, at least for me, where I can just make a decision on a whim without any consequences. Obviously, I'm married, kids, bill, all these things, these variables that stop me from making the random, on a whim, spontaneous decisions, which is probably a good thing because the spontaneous decisions make me very mad because I can't think about it and I can't weigh my pros and cons and cope because I have to fucking cope. All right. I need to cope. And if you're listening to this, you probably need to cope too. So think about the pros and cons about these little decisions. And I promise you, it'll be so much better in the long run because then you'll make a decision confidently and never regret your decision because you'll always have a positive outlook on what you're about to do. But don't be fearful. Bye-bye.